Hi, it's Ollie Doyle here from Peace Through Mindfulness again with another free resource, hopefully to support your practice. Hope you enjoyed the first one. You'll notice the recording quality is a little better on this one. Hopefully the sound's okay. Feel free to give me any feedback on that stuff or on the the resource itself. So today I want to talk about a Buddhist concept. I want to put it in layman's terms, and I want to talk about how we use that in our mindfulness practice, or what attitude we take into our practice to help us avoid a few common traps. And the term I want to talk about is impermanence. Now, you've probably heard of that, you've probably read about it. If you haven't, don't worry about it. All it means is everything changes all the time, always. Nothing stays the same, even for an instant, even if we think it does, from our perspective. Now, scientifically, we know this to be true. Even if you look at the strongest rock formation, building, whatever, it's gradually changing moment after moment. If we look at our lives, we can see how quickly things change and how nothing stays the same, nothing stays in the same arrangement, even for a second. So each time you breathe in, you're breathing in different air. Each time you breathe out, you're exchanging that with carbon dioxide. The whole atmosphere of the world is changing with each breath in and out that we take, that trees take, that plants take, that animals take. Everything's constantly changing. In our mindfulness practice, this means that nothing's static, nothing stays the same. Why this is important is because when our mind has an experience of being quiet, of being peaceful, or we even read about the idea of being quiet and peaceful, or the experience of being peaceful, our mind wants that, and it wants to hold on to it. So it wants peace all the time. It wants feelings of happiness all the time, and joy. So this can be problematic when we experience some joy or some happiness within our practice, that suddenly we try and hold on to that, or we try and recreate that state next time that we sit. Whereas mindfulness, as I've told you and as you know already, is just about sitting and noticing what's happening now. So if we're trying to get a particular state, then we're already running against that. We're running against the current of life, which is ever changing. So we just want to go with that current, we just want to experience it. So the attitude we want to have in our practice is that everything changes. Not the thought that everything changes, but just noticing that. So in one moment, your mind might be peaceful, you might feel joy. In the next moment, you might feel anxiety and your mind may be full of thoughts. And we want to allow that experience to be equally as we want to allow that experience of peace to be. So if we're trying to grab onto a particular thing or be a particular way, then we create problems for ourselves. So the little exercise I want to do with you today is about noticing our thoughts, letting them come and go, and just jumping back to the present moment whenever we get lost. You excuse my shaky camera work, it's a little bit windy out here at the moment, and you'll notice the light changing a bit as well, which is pretty cool as we're talking about impermanence. And you might see some clouds drifting past behind me. Sometimes people talk about treating our thoughts just like clouds when we're practicing meditation, mindfulness. We'll use a bit of a different metaphor tonight, but before we get into the exercise, find yourself a comfy spot, make sure there's no distractions around, sit comfortably and have your spine as straight as you can comfortably be. Either close your eyes or leave them open. And again, we'll start by directing our attention to the breath. So just take your attention inside the body. Notice what it feels like as you breathe in and as you breathe out. So again, just check in. Notice your lungs expanding, contracting. Notice the way your body moves on the in-breath and on the out-breath. And notice the slight pause between each breath. So notice that moment of stillness between breathing in and breathing out. And just allow that pause to be there, just notice it, and then allow it to slip away as the next breath arises. As you do that, also notice what thoughts are going through your mind right now. Notice what's drifting past. And as much as you can, see if you can watch those thoughts come and go without getting lost in them, without getting caught up in them, without fighting them or trying to change them either. So whatever's arising in the mind right now, just allow that to be as it is. Also watch for any gaps in between thoughts. So any time that one thought subsides and the next thought hasn't yet arisen, just notice that silent space. Allow that to be there, and then allow it to subside as the next thought arises. Each time that you get caught up in a thought, that you get lost in it, as soon as you notice, just gently bring your attention back to your breathing and to noticing your thoughts, to watching those thoughts come and go. As much as you can, just treat those thoughts as if they were cars driving past outside your house. You can watch them come, you can see them go. You don't need to get rid of them or change them. But equally, you don't need to go outside and play with them. You can stay inside, you can stay focused, without those thoughts needing to disappear or change in any way. And when you're ready, just gently bring your attention back into the present moment, back into the room, back to wherever you're sitting. Keep noticing your breath. And keep coming back whenever you get lost. This little exercise is really the heart of our practice. It's how we learn to come back when we get distracted. It's not about not getting distracted. It's about bringing yourself back each time. And that's all our practice is. It's retraining our brain to notice when we slip away from the present moment, notice when we're caught up in a thought, and gently bring our attention back to what's going on here and now. I hope you've enjoyed this little exercise today and that it was useful with your practice. Please feel free to email me if you have any questions, queries, comments, feedback, or you can post comments at the bottom of the page as well. Hope you enjoyed today, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks very much.